Hi, and welcome to the inaugural episode number one. We kind of hit that reset button. So now the acquired taste is now going to be known as the Alamo City Sportscast. As you can see, we have new branding here. We have a new name for the network now. The Alamo City, or not, should I say, the Acquired Taste Network is now going to be rebranded as the Alamo City Podcast Network. So that's going to be the umbrella that we're going to go ahead and house other shows under. So now that you are familiar with the YouTube channel, we're going to go ahead and bring in other shows as well. So we're going to have, you already know the Fantasy Gods, but we're going to have other shows coming in as well, not just, the Alamo City Sportscast. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching this first episode. This is just me being like fully honest with you guys and letting you know what's happening with the rebrand. We appreciate y'all's continued support, and we're going to go ahead and try to bring you the best shows that we can possibly, go ahead and put out there. And shout out to you, David Outwater. He says he loves the new name. Thank you. I'm appreciating that you like the new name, and it seems like almost everybody liked the new logo as well. So that's a good thing. Joshua Jimenez, love the name. This is awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you too for tuning in, Joshua and David. And also, Tim Gonzalez says, "What's good, Joe? What's good, Tim?" And Tim, I love the new beat. Yeah, I do too. We had to go ahead and get a new jingle and everything. I mean, I've been busy over the weekend. So it's been a long weekend. It's been a great sports weekend as well. For those that are into UFC fighting, we're gonna go ahead and talk a little bit about UFC 292 that occurred over the weekend. You had a lot of NFL preseason games that occurred as well. Great NFL weekend. San Antonio FC, they took the field. We'll go ahead and talk about their results as well. So there's a lot of things that we're going to talk about. And I don't know if everybody went to the theaters over the weekend, but there was another film out there for the raza, that we finally got representation up there on the big screen with a full-fledged superhero called the Blue Beetle. I want to check that out, and I'll let you know what I thought of it as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. I want to go ahead and share something that I saw off of our good friend Jeff Garcia's Twitter feed earlier today. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. He has a fan episode, and the fan episode has a friend of the show here. We have the one and only Christopher Leja from MCS General Contracting making an appearance here. So go ahead and check out Jeff's new podcast here, the latest episode of the Locked On Spurs podcast. He's going to go ahead and discuss the new schedule and the rising ticket prices with a guest again, Christopher Leja. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. Oh, and somebody's asking a question. So this is mean that Jimenez is permanently gone? We'll see. I mean, the door is always open to him. If he ever wants to come back at any other time, at any other juncture in the future, the door is always open to him. But we're going to go ahead and move forward. Me and Jimenez had talked a lot, and we had a vision for what we wanted to go ahead and accomplish. And that was going ahead and starting a podcast network so we can go ahead and bring in shows and have some diversity and kind of break up the monotony of what you're known as just, regular old sports talk. We can have give you all a little bit, I guess, a diverse, eclectic palette, so to speak, of new shows. It could range from anything from talking about, geek pop culture stuff to, going ahead and talking about fantasy sports, talking about sports in general, which is this show right now. And we're going to go ahead and talk about, a little bit of entertainment news as well. So we're just going ahead and continuing, the groundwork that me and Jimenez had laid down. Again, man, the door's always open to Jimenez. He's going through some things right now from a personal perspective, but if he wants to go and join the show or even come on as a guest from time to time and say hi to you guys, he's always welcome. There's no love lost here between me and Jimenez. Love Jimenez to death. Hope he does return at some point in the near future. So we're sending our thoughts and prayers to him. JC says, morning, just saw the Los with Chris. Cool watch. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and watch it too. I'll watch it after I finish, talking with you guys and doing this show. Tim Gonzalez says, are you going to do pick-em games for college football this season? We might go ahead and do that. It'd be nice to go ahead and, interact with you guys and have pick-em games and all that and have people come out and talk, UTSA football, which is going to be starting here shortly. I think you're less than 2 weeks away now. So that's not bad. And then I also saw, speaking of UTSA, they had UTSA Day, and my daughter does attend UTSA. So they had UTSA Day over the weekend, and they had a good crowd out. I'm sure my daughter was in attendance as well, enjoying the festivities. So I'll go ahead and share that with you. There it is. There you go. So that doesn't make you get excited for UTSA football. I don't know what will. So it's going to be fun though, and looking forward to that season. Looking forward to the tailgates over at UT with the UTSA football games over there at the Alamo Dome. Great tailgating venue that they have out there. Make sure you definitely check that out. And also spotted over the weekend is Victor Wembanyama. Victor was spotted working out with San Antonio legend here, the one and only Jesse James Leha. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. I saw it on Tom Orsborn's Twitter over the weekend. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. And it's like he stated right here, he's working out with Jesse James Leha. So maybe he's trying to bulk up, get a little tougher now, because they are going to be coming for him, when the regular season starts. So it's good to see him getting stronger. He doesn't have to so much bulk up. He just needs to get stronger. So boxing definitely will do that to you. It's going to increase his stamina overall, as well. So good to see Wemby working out with San Antonio legend Jesse James Leha. And so I was having a long weekend, man. Let's put it like that. Over the weekend, I'm a homeowner. One of the joys of being a homeowner is having to deal with problems, man. And it just seems like as of late, because my house is a little bit older now, things are just getting worse and worse and worse. There's little things that need to be done as far as maintenance. And I woke up, and there was a leak, in the bathtub. So I'm like, oh God, man, now I got to deal with this, So yeah, after I do this show, I got to go to Home Depot now and try to go ahead and fix that. Then I had to go and clean out the AC because the AC coils were all dirty. And I mean, it never ends, bro. It sucks. Yeah, being a homeowner does suck because ain't nobody going to do the maintenance on your home. And it's going to be you. And I think that's a good segue right now. Since we're talking about homes, let's go ahead and take a minute here to give a shout out to one of our sponsors here, Cynthia J. Sanchez of J. Parr Realty. J. Parr Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars and say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well, that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from J. Parr Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA, so she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. Yeah, make sure you go and give our good friend there, Cynthia J. Sanchez, a call if you ever need anything as far as your real estate needs. Anything from new homes to rental properties. Go ahead and give her a call. Her number is 210-273-0748. And like I was talking with you guys, the joy of being a homeowner, the maintenance, that's a pain in the ass. That sucks, especially when you got to go outside and clean coils in the middle of the heat, in the middle of the day, going out there and trying to clean the AC coil on the outside unit. Never fun, but necessary because I don't want that AC to bust on me. And then I'm down and everybody's out, because it's going to be too damn hot. So anyway, we had some games over the weekend here, NFL preseason play. So we had some ties here, and that's weird. In NFL preseason, you already have ties. You had the Browns and the Eagles tied up at 18-18. The other tie was the Bengals and Falcons tied 13-13. Other games that they had that occurred during the weekend, of course, you had, the Panthers Giants, you had the Jaguars Lions, and you had the Dolphins and Texans. The Dolphins they just rolled over the Texans 28-3. One of the games that I watched during the preseason that was pretty entertaining, I got to say, was the Bills and Steelers. Steelers won that 27-15. Then you had the Buccaneers and Jets. Buccaneers won that game 13-6. You had the Colts and the Bears. I watched that one. That was kind of ho-hum, boring a little bit. But the Bears, they lost to the Colts ultimately 24-17. And yes, I stayed up late watching UFC, and I was actually watching the UFC fight, and I was watching the Cowboys play as well. The Cowboys had the late game as they were playing the Seattle Seahawks. The Cowboys ultimately lost that game because they threw a couple of picks that cost them, one of them in the red zone. So the Seahawks beat the Cowboys 22-14. Uh, yeah, they were saying as far as Star Wars stuff, gutted the Overshown tore his ACL. Yeah, he's tore the ACL. Young Cowboys player there had an injury, so then you never want to see that in preseason play. And shout out to our boy over here from the Legacy of Nerd, Daniel, and also David over here with Star Wars stuff. Shout out to you guys. Tim Gonzalez. Well, the temperature will drop tomorrow and Wednesday. I hope so. I hope we get rain soon, man. My grass is crunchy already. Everything's dead and dried up. We do need some rain here soon. Know that there's a tropical disturbance over in the Gulf, so we just want a little bit of rain. We don't want torrential downpour. So hopefully something will come our way soon. And David says, was in Houston for Texas Dolphins game, man. I'm sorry, dude. That was not a good game. And then Paul says, well, it was a good run with Jimenez while it lasted. Wishing you the best, Joe. Signing out and unsubscribing. Becomes black. I'll gladly come back again. Well, go ahead and come back, man. If Jimenez is making an appearance, we'll appreciate anything you want to go ahead and do as far as supporting us. Father-in-law is a Dolphins fan. Oh, man. I think there's a lot of Dolphins fans out here right now. It said Messi won his first trophy in the MLS. I saw that. And he went ahead and gave the armband to the former captain. So I thought that was a good, gesture by Messi. So they're doing a great thing over there with Messi in Miami. So good to see him playing at a high level. He is the GOAT for all intents and purposes. So getting back to this NFL preseason, we do have some games. Game today, actually. You have the Ravens and Commanders. Yesterday on Sunday evening, you had the Saints and Chargers. The Saints won that game 22-17. So that was the end of the NFL preseason there, week 3 of 4. So you still got one more week left of NFL preseason, and then the NFL season is going to be kicking off here shortly. So I believe that's going to start on a Thursday. So I'm looking forward to that. And SAFC news, man, it wasn't much to talk about over the weekend. You had San Antonio FC on was it Spurs night of all things. I was watching the game as we were watching the UFC fight. And I got to say, man, the game was pretty boring, dude. I mean, I like San Antonio FC. I'll try to go and support them any chance I get and go to a game because it's a great venue, great tailgating before the game as well. But 0-0 against Monterey Bay, on Spurs night of all things. I'm just like, man, that was kind of disappointing. On Spurs night, you looked at the crowd too on ESPN because they were televising the game. And it was kind of empty, man. I think everybody was going to the bars to get ready to watch the Dallas Cowboy preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. But you hope that they have a better showing. They're going to be playing again against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds on August the 26th, which is going to be a Saturday at 8 p.m. So go ahead and check that out. And let's see, Joe Gonzalez here saying, going to support you all even more, Joe. Keep dropping good content from here on out. It'll get better, man. This is our first show, starting to just kind of trying to get my legs under me, be honest with you guys. So we're looking forward to bringing in guests, next tomorrow, actually, we're going to have Carolina T come in for a little bit here and join the show. We're still going to continue with Tuesdays with Teague. We'll have Jeff Garcia come on and do his Spurs talk. We'll probably have Katie Goodman come out here and there, hopefully on Thursdays, where she can go ahead and give us a quick segment here and talk about soccer, San Antonio FC. Maybe we'll go ahead and pick her brain a little bit about the upcoming Spurs season as well. So we're still going to have all the guests that you all were accustomed to. So that's not going to change. And what did it say? Chris Gonzalez says, it was only on the TV side, but the stadium was full. Yeah, it didn't look like it was so full. I guess maybe because of the TV and the angles that they were shooting it at, it just looked a little empty. There was a lot of little empty seats here and there. Oh, here we go. Star Wars stuff says, congratulations on the first show. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Joe, maybe this is a good question for Jeff, but does anyone know if Bally still has the Spurs TV contract? This I do know. Bally still has the TV contract with the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA. So Bally's, for all intents and purposes, is still going to go ahead and be the place you're going to want to go ahead and see San Antonio Spurs games this upcoming season. Yes, we all know that their app is absolute garbage. It does not work most of the time. It works when it wants to. It seems to work a little better. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you see the games on a computer, preferably like a desktop. I've streamed it before on my Roku device here on the TV because I got the Roku built into the TV, and that's hit or miss. It works a lot better than just a mobile device, but it's still garbage. It's horrible. There's a long delay. I mean, if you want to see what the updates are in real time, it's better to turn the game on WOAI 1200 and listen to the great Bill Schoening, and then just put the game on mute. That way you can actually know what's happening in real time, because that Bally Sports app and that delay is it's just horrible. So I know I'm going to have to pay just like everybody else that stupid subscription to go ahead and watch the Spurs games. I wish there was another option. Maybe at some juncture, if Bally goes under, the games will be televised here local, maybe on the CW or Fox 29, and the flagship right now for televised games locally is going to be Ken's 5. Hopefully that'll change here in the upcoming future. We just never know what's going to happen, especially with Bally's kind of controlling that regional sports package that they have there. It is garbage. I don't like it, and I hope things change soon. It looks like Bally is just barely staying afloat, so they might be going under. I know they filed for bankruptcy last season. I believe a lot of the games for the MLB had been pulled from them, as well as some of the NHL games. So their market hold is slowly deteriorating and going away. He says, I will have to see how to get that channel. Yeah, well, Bally Sports, I mean, you got to go ahead and pay for it, but you can still watch some local games here on Ken's 5 and CW here and there. They're far and few between, but you're going to have 19 nationally televised games for the San Antonio Spurs this upcoming season. So you're going to be able to catch games like on ESPN, TNT, and also you'll be able to see the games on NBA TV if you have a subscription to that, or your carrier, your cable provider, or your streaming service provides that for you. And what do you say? Let me go ahead and put this on here. Chris Gonzalez, a few times I use Bally on my Xbox. It works, but I don't really use it. Same here. I mean, if you know, you can go to other places and still watch the game. Is ACC Sports are moving to the CW network this season. That's a good thing, you can go ahead and check them out. They're probably going to have them on, if they're going to have them on the CW, I believe they're going to probably have them on 4.2, which is the digital channel here, local. So if you go to tune to channel 4, you go ahead and tune to their digital channel 4.2, and that's where they'll probably host the games there. And then you have the other channel, I believe it's still 35 or something like that, but they play more obscure programming there. I don't really watch that all that much. And JC, call it like it is. Local market should be in charge. They should be in charge. I think the games, if they made it to where you just have them locally televised, it'd probably be a lot better for a lot better experience for the fan. Of course, there'd have to be some money involved there as far as the local stations going ahead and garnering that contract, and they'd have to negotiate with both the NBA, and of course, that's basically where everything funnels through, and of course, the Spurs as well. But hopefully some changes will come through here soon. Anthony L. Love the new name, Joe. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate the love and support. And hopefully Bally's loses the contract. I can't stand to watch the Spurs on Hulu. You can't watch them on Hulu, like you said. Yeah, you can't watch them on Hulu. That sucks. It's just gotten so expensive now with the streaming services and how they can go ahead and bring you those games. Like, it's ridiculous. At one time, you were able to watch Spurs games on Hulu. Now you can't. Same thing happened with YouTube TV back in the day. You were able to watch these games on these streaming services, but they just got so expensive that these streaming services just had to drop that programming because it was outrageous. It was under Fox Sports Southwest, which now has been, I guess, merged into what is known as Bally Sports. So Bally's just a conglomerate. They want so much money that they have exclusive deals with, like, I think local here it's going to be Paragon, and also with AT&T and their streaming service, which is going to be Direct TV streaming. But the Direct TV streaming, again, it's just gets so outrageous the price because they try to get you in at a discounted rate in the beginning, but then after that, I guess an initial phase is over, then you're going to go ahead and get hit with the $120 or $130 bill. Nobody wants that. So they need to find a better way to go ahead and get these regional sports programming within, the streaming services again, because many people are already cutting the cord. Oh, here we go. NBA League Pass on YouTube TV blacks out Spurs games. Shaking my head. Yeah, they do, and it seems like I guess the NBA has gotten a little bit more savvy now. In years past, you were able to go ahead and bypass the blackouts by using a VPN. If you had a subscription to a VPN, you could subscribe to NBA TV, and then using the VPN in conjunction with your subscription, you were able to still see those Spurs games. But it looks like the league has gotten a little bit more savvy now, so they're making it a little harder for just a regular old fan, especially in these, let's say, in San Antonio and the surrounding areas here, to actually be able to watch these games. So that's a shame. Oh, here we go. Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs. Are we excited for for Ahsoka debuting tomorrow? Of course we are, Jeff. I know Jeff is going to stay up late and watch that. I know I'm going to be watching it. I'll talk with Jeff about it as well when he comes out and makes his appearance here, I believe, on Wednesday. Happy Monday, y'all. Hand over fist. Well, happy Monday to you, and thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate you. And he goes, remember when Jimenez said Paige Sporadic is his best friend? I remember when he said that. He's crazy. Sun streams games for free. Yeah, well, there you go. That's amazing if they do that. And I hope they put it like on Twitch or something and, make it a lot easier for the fans to go ahead and watch that. That would be cool if the NBA actually started doing that moving forward. Go ahead and start streaming some of these games like on Twitch or start streaming them on Twitter. And I'm not just talking about the regular, the preseason, but the regular season games as well. And for some reason, Spurs preseason games are so hard to find. And then the Spurs put them on that stupid Vimo or whatever they do. And it's just a weird process. You can't watch the game on TV unless you're going to go ahead and stream it, like Google Chromecast it to your TV. There's got to be a better way, man. This is ridiculous. It's been like that the last couple seasons, and it's not just me. I know a lot of other Spurs fans are absolutely, irate about having to go ahead and go through the Spurs app to be able to watch the game, and then it's all quirky and it doesn't look right. And I mean, there has to be a better process. I mean, the Spurs, why don't they just go ahead and stream the game on their social media channels like Facebook or put it out on Twitter at the same time, or YouTube? I mean, that would be a lot easier for the fan base to go ahead and watch the preseason games. So I'm just making suggestions, here, but if it makes too much sense, they probably won't do it. There has to be a reason why they want to funnel everybody to the Spurs app, because they want to peddle their wares on you guys. Now, Joe Gonzalez, I need Sean and Bill being homers with when I'm watching my team, but Bally's is straight junk. See, everybody hates Bally's. Yeah, David Atwater. Can't wait to watch the Ahsoka series. I know everybody's excited about that, and I am too. And JC, let's get old school and live stream from the stands. I had DirecTV on my TV. I had it too, but it was just so expensive. You're talking about paying $130 plus. I mean, that's how much you used to pay back in the day when you had the old satellite dish on the roof of your home. But now, I mean, it's just getting more and more expensive. And they're not going to go ahead and have the regional sports package with, I believe, DirecTV Stream unless you get the mid-tier package. So if you get the cheapest one, they're not going to have that there. So they're forcing you to pay money to go ahead and watch those regional sports in your area, and it's just getting ridiculous. Oh, Chris Gonzalez, Ahsoka is dropping tomorrow. I totally forgot. Everybody's so excited about watching Ahsoka. Here we go. Ahsoka is dropping every Tuesday at 8 p.m. No more staying up late. Well, for Jeff, it's 8 o'clock. We're talking about 8 o'clock on the East Coast, so that's about 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock, I believe, Central here, because they're doing it based off of Pacific time. Well, it's a change. I'm used to waking up in the morning and being able to watch a Star Wars show, on the Disney Plus. But I mean, they're doing it and changing it to prime time. So is what it is. In Hanover Fist, MJ on hiatus, but I'm back. Great that you're back. MJ is who knows, man? Maybe he can go ahead and come back at some juncture. Like I said, we're leaving the door wide open for him. JC, that's the answer. Stream for free. There you go. If you know, you know. As I'm in Spurs, as Spurs PR is you're listening, they probably do not care what we think. It's all about the money at the end of the day. Yeah, thought Bally's was going out of business. I think everybody secretly wants Bally's to go out of business so they can go ahead and be able to watch the regional sports programming on local TV, man. That would be something. I remember back in the days, we had to go ahead and pay for almost every single Spurs televised home game here on like cable back in way back when, like in the early 2000s, late 90s. You had to actually pay for these marquee games when the Spurs were going up against the Lakers. I mean, I remember going to family get-togethers where everybody would come and they would pitch in a little bit of money so you could be able to watch these games, especially playoff games. It was like $60 or something like that every time you wanted to watch a pay-per-view, which was crazy. It's a lot more accessible now, but it's still expensive to be able to watch these games. Yeah, you made a great point last week. Spurs sports and entertainment will price out lifelong low-income fans. They need to think ahead and do something for the fans at a game at the Dome, maybe at a Dome game. Yeah, maybe they do something like that. And the thing is that I don't know why the Spurs are doing that. I know it's the Wemby effect, yes, but they should have some type of a night, even if it's a preseason game, something, a special night, just to honor the fans themselves. Because without the fans, you wouldn't have a team here in San Antonio. The fans are still supporting the team, even when they had that horrible losing season that they did last season. Fans were still going to watch the games. Maybe they weren't there in mass, but they were still there, watching the teams, dropping money on merch, all for la cultura, all that kind of stuff. And the Spurs are trying to kind of like pricing the everyday, diehard fan out. And I don't understand the logic behind that, but they should go ahead and have a special night where they're going to be able to offer, a special ticket price so everybody can bring in their families. I'm still looking forward to the Spurs hosting the silver and black scrimmage. Where's that been at? Last year, I thought we were going to have a silver and black scrimmage. They didn't have it. The silver and black scrimmage was like a staple. It was a game that the Spurs would host, and it was open to the public. It was free parking. They had dollar beer, dollar chips, dollar food, and families would just come out en masse to go ahead and watch that silver and black scrimmage. It's been, missing for the last, it seems like, season or two. I don't know why they don't do that anymore, but they should. Because again, for fans that don't necessarily have the money to go and watch a game all the time, it's easy to go ahead and have your family come out and take in, a game, especially if it's just a scrimmage and it's open and it's free. That might be the outing that some families have, for watching a Spurs game. So I think the Spurs need to bring that back. Hopefully they can go ahead and bring that back next season, or this season, should I say. And Vince Trevino. Where's Jimenez? Well, Jimenez is taking a hiatus here. We don't know how long he's going to be gone. Maybe he'll be gone permanently. We don't really know. He's having some family issues that he has to work out through right now, but we are leaving the door wide open for him. Hopefully he can return at some juncture, but we are moving forward with some of the ideas that me and Jimenez had already talked about. And one of those was opening a podcast network. So that's where we're moving forward with this rebranding. And watching the Spurs game on any pay-per-view event in in that dispute signal. Dollar beer night. Yeah, dollar beer night would have been great for that trash they put on the court last season. Yeah, man, you can't buy a beer for $1 at a Spurs game. Let's be honest, man. You're going to be dropping some major coin there, especially on the food as well. Scrimmage would be cool. I'm saying they need to go ahead and bring back the silver and black scrimmage. I have no idea where that has been at the Spurs. If there anybody's listening from the Spurs to listening to this podcast right now, please bring back the silver and black scrimmage. And you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and bring that up when we have Jeff Garcia on. I'm going to ask him about what happened with the silver and black scrimmage and where has it been? have the Spurs decided just to go ahead and outright do away with it? But you have Wembayama this year, so Spurs fans, they would pack the AT&T Center to get a first little glimpse of Victor, even if he's not playing in the game, just walking around. Maybe he can interact with the fans and whatnot. Fans would still like to go ahead and see him before the regular season starts. I think the Spurs should go ahead and do the right thing and have that silver and black scrimmage. Let's go ahead and pause here and go ahead and uh, get another shout out to one of our sponsors, and that's going to be the one and only Jeff Garcia from the Locked On Spurs podcast. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow, not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, so you all make sure you go and give Jeff some love. And again, the latest episode of the Locked On Spurs podcast that's airing today has none other than Chris Leha, the show friend of the show here and owner of MCS General Contracting. So make sure you go ahead and show him some love. That should be a fun episode. I can't wait to check that out. Tim Gonzalez, hopefully Moneybags can buy us some food and drinks during the Spurs season. If you go to a Spurs game and you do see Jeff has already made it made it clear to everybody. Full disclosure here. If you see Jeff at a game and you recognize him, he will buy you a beer. So go ahead and go up to him if you see him. Take a picture with him. He said he'll buy you a beer, so we're gonna go ahead and keep him honest and keep him to that. And Daniel Castro, I like that. The money symbol for Jeff Garcia. That money bags is not going anywhere. And when I have Jeff on this Wednesday, I'm gonna be wearing the money bags T-shirt from Bear County Social Apparel. I got to do it if I'm gonna have Jeff on. Gonna have to sport the apparel, from Bear County, and go ahead and have Jeff on at the same time, because I know it's going to go over well with Jeff. He hates that, and I told him it's not going anywhere. Money bags is here to stay. Fred Villarreal, black and white scrimmage used to be around years ago. I remember when they were held at the Blossom Athletic Center back in the day in the 70s. Wow, that's a throwback, man. Now it's just called the silver and black scrimmage, but that was fun too. I bet back in the 70s, you had access to the players, unlike you do now, where if you don't know if you all ever been to the game and you go down to the court afterwards, maybe shoot a free throw or take a picture, but you can see the players out on the sidelines there, interacting with some of the media or the fans, and they always have an usher or somebody. So even if you're like one or two people away from them, you can't even say hi, you can't take a picture. They're like, no. They're trying to usher you away as soon as possible. They don't want you to have any interaction with the players at all. It's just weird, man. And say JC open scrimmage would be cool and approachable, and pricing. Yes, it's free and the market is there. Maybe host at the Rock, maybe. Andrew, can the same be said for Jeff at UTSA games? We'll see. Maybe we can get Jeff to go to a UTSA game. That would be interesting. I would like to go ahead and see Jeff go to a UTSA tailgate. So, Andrew, if I can go ahead and get Jeff out there, we got to go ahead and treat him to one of these tailgates. I don't know how loose he'll let himself go at a tailgate, but it'd be fun to see Jeff out there partaking at the tailgate. Locked On Spurs is supposedly getting a suite for Spurs Twitter. Now that would be something. Jeff could go ahead and get a suite for all of us Spurs fans. That's money bags right there. Said, so did Mike Jimenez do the ultimate flip-flop and flip off his own podcast or network? Mike, king of flip-flopping and flopping. No, like we were saying, he's been having some personal issues to deal with family. So he's taking a hiatus here for an extended period of time. It might be permanent. We don't know. Maybe at some point he might decide to return, or the door's always open to Mike, and he can come on if he wants to make a guest appearance here and there. It's totally up to him. So just wish him the best. Keep him in your prayers, man. And Jeff, Remember when Jimenez was drinking live on this show? Jimenez drunk. He was drinking live on this show quite a bit. He finished my bottle. He finished my bottle of Buffalo Trace. I got to go buy another one. Yeah, and he was also drinking the Angel's Envy too. He was drinking the good stuff. Jimenez had an eclectic palate for bourbon and whiskey. Oh, there you go. Andrew says, y'all are always welcome to the Los Rowdy Primos tailgate, man. We're going to show up to that. That'd be fun. Oh, here you go. Christopher Leha. Come on, Moneybags. Yeah, Moneybags needs to fork over that money so we can go ahead and get a suite. That way all of us can go ahead and partake in that. Who doesn't like free food and free alcohol? You can't say free to the raza, man. Come on. Yes, sir, JC. It's our show to develop now. Yes, that is correct. I'm working on some new technologies here so I can go ahead and get you guys even more involved with the show because I just don't want to be able to read y'all's comments. I mean, I want you to be a part of the show. I want you to interact more with me. So I'm trying to go ahead and figure out the way to get in Twitter Spaces. So when we go live, I'm hoping that I can do that sometime this week. So when we go live, we're going to have you guys be able to get on the stage with Twitter Spaces, come on the show, talk live, and we'll give you a couple minutes here on the stage, pop off. We'll go ahead and talk to somebody else and keep the conversation going. I think it's going to be a fun way to go ahead and be more interactive with you guys. Do a live show from the Rowdy Tailgate. That would be awesome, man. I wouldn't mind doing a live show from the Rowdy Tailgate. But what are we doing? Are we drinking while we're going to go ahead and go live? That would be something. I got to have a drink in my hand, especially at a tailgate. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be partying. We're going to be having fun. So maybe going live being drunk might not be a good thing, but it'll be fun as hell, and it'll probably get the viewership, of numbers up. So that'd be fun. Christopher Leha, let me make a guest appearance. I was cautious on Los. I want to talk about our big, strong decks. Christopher, if you want to come in and make an appearance here on the show, door's always open to you, brother. Just go ahead and shoot me a DM. I'll give you the address. Come in here and we'll talk some sports because he says he likes to talk a lot of shit. Well, guess what? So do I, buddy. So it's going to be fun. And we could do some drinking at the same time. Jeff says the scrimmage last season was in Uvalde. All right. Well, hopefully they can have it here this upcoming season. And there was Chris. It says Tim Gonzalez says even if UTSA fans will be chanting money bags. Yes, they will be. And you know what, Jeff? If he goes to a UTSA tailgate, we're gonna have to make him wear the money bags T-shirt or something, or I'm gonna wear the money bags T-shirt. That'll be fun. JC, right on, Joe. You lead, we follow. Well, I appreciate y'all's support, man. I can't even tell you. I was nervous to come out and do this first show here. I didn't know what the reception would be. I didn't know if people would still be watching or not. But I'm just going to tell you guys, I'm just so happy and overwhelmed that you guys are still watching, interacting, and we're just going to have fun with this, man. So really, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And last year's suite rental prices around $2,000 per game. Wonder what Moneybags would have to pay for a suite rental this year. I can guarantee you that $2,000 price tag is going to go way up now, as you've seen just from the ticket prices for the game that's going to be happening, the season opener. The season opener, I think now, when I had looked prior to this week, I know that I saw some nosebleed seats going for as high as maybe $250, $230. Somebody had posted that they found some seats for about $130. So those are nosebleeds. You're talking like the sections that are in the 200s that are way, way, way up in the corners. And it's expensive, man, just for that first game for Wemby's NBA debut. So good luck trying to find games for that. My thing is, if you're going to pay that much for a ticket price for nosebleed, why even go? Just go to your local sports bar, take some of your buddies with you, and then just watch the debut that way. I mean, it's not even worth spending that much to go ahead and go to a Spurs game, and sit in the nosebleeds. And then you got to pay for the parking, the food, and all that. I don't know, man. It's a little too steep for me to want to pay that. Drew Show. What, he drank all your good liquor, Joe? Wow, I'm cool with this being the new Two Shots 2 podcast. Yeah, man, he drank all the good liquor, man. He's got an eclectic palate, man. And he knows I don't buy the cheap stuff. Says, I hope Jimenez is doing good. Wish you all both the best. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That when Joe has his live YouTuber Two Shots podcast, I'll call in all the time. It was lit. Well, we're gonna go ahead and start doing some of that stuff again this season. We're gonna have the two shots, and I was thinking maybe if I'm able to, maybe have some discussions maybe on the weekends. We're watching a weekend game, Spurs game, then maybe go ahead and pop in and get a discussion going with the fans. Right after the game, kind of like we used to do on Spurs React with Chris Duell way back in the day over at WOAI 1200, at the iHeart Radio studio. But let's go ahead and do it as a live stream, as far as Twitter Spaces, and interact with you guys and just keep the conversations going. I think that's what it's all about, conversations, and not just thinking that you're better than everybody else, but including everybody and having, everybody have a voice and say, and what happens, and not just the show, but just discussions, period, man. It's not, let's be nice to one another. You don't have to be nasty and mean. Good job on podcast, Chris. I got to listen to this, man. I got to listen to this podcast. Money bags gets a sweet discount too. He can lock it in. He can lock it in. There's a one love. It says SA for SA, of course. I'm writing till the end, brother. Well, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate that. It says, I'm poor. I'm going to be at Twins or Mad Peckers getting drunk. Christopher Leah, you ain't lying, man. I'm telling you, dude, spending that much money to go and watch a Spurs game, $130, $250 for nosebleeds? No thanks, man. You can go ahead and have your buddies hang out at Twin Peaks, Bombshells, Hooters, some of the other sports bars here, Buffalo Wild Wings or something, and just watch the game there. To me, that'd just be a better way for you to save your money than having to go to the AT&T Center. Okay, let's go ahead and take a quick pause here and have another shout out to one of our good sponsors here, Serenity Manor. Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flores Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Flores Country Store, you can go over, diagonal across the street, catty corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. There you go. Make sure you go and check out Serenity Manor. The address is there on the screen. That's going to be 14405 Old Bandera Road in Helotes, Texas, and that zip code is 78023. Make sure you go and check out Serenity Manor. One thing that we need to talk about too is that we get closer and closer to the, NBA season starting here. It's going to be starting here in a couple of months. We need to start talking about what we're going to do as far as get-togethers. One of the things that we used to do prior to COVID that I enjoyed quite a bit is going out there and actually interacting with the fans and watching the game, having watch parties. So that'd be cool to have a watch party. And we have to think about where we want to have these watch parties at. I think having it like in a central location where it's, easily accessible to everybody. And, that's just going to a place and just watching the game, having a few beers and talking with you guys, the fans. I think that's one thing that I really want to do this season. I want to get back to doing that because I missed that, man. It was a lot of fun. So we got to definitely plan out a watch party, and we'll let the fans dictate where we're going to watch that. It's not going to be me or anybody else or saying, hey, we got to watch it at a sponsor's venue. Let the fans dictate where we watch the game. We'll go out and buy you all around or something. It'll be fun. Me, Brandon Medina, and we'll have Rudy Campos probably make an appearance as well. I mean, y'all don't want to, believe me, you don't want to see no drunk Rudy, man. A drunk Rudy is off the walls, man. It says, Christopher Lay, I love my team, but that's mad money, man. Beers are $10 each. Nobody shut up. Bro, they're more than $10 at the AT&T Center. Hey, that's a good idea, man. I didn't think about that. I wonder if that's something we could do. Chris Gonzalez says, "Can we rent a theater to watch games?" That's an idea, bro. We got to really look into that, man. And I know some of my buddies too. One of my friends, he's a manager of one of the theaters here in town. So I'm going to go and ask. I wonder if we can do that. I don't know if there's implications in actually showing the game on the big screen. There may or may not be, but and we'll see, man. Maybe that's something we can do. Oh, look at that. The Drew Show says the Ringer does several podcasts that are just replays of Spotify's versions of Twitter Spaces. Hey, I've been doing that actually for Project Spurs. I would go ahead and run their replays of the Twitter Spaces as podcast and Twitter videos. I mean YouTube videos that we would place on their channel, on their YouTube channel. It says, "How are away games for the Spurs?" I don't know. I haven't really gone to the away games. Fred Villarreal, "We can all meet at Joe's studio after the Spurs game." Laugh out loud. I don't have a huge studio, but we can have meetups here and there. I don't mind having some people over. It has to be a small crowd because I don't really, like I said, have a lot of space. But it would be fun to have, some of the fans come in. We can go watch some games or something, away games, because I do have a projector. I got a fridge full of beer all the time, Just want to go ahead and have fun with you guys, man. We chop it up, talk Spurs, enjoy each other's company. What? Where's crazy ass Rudy? Rudy is working, man. He's actually working, so he's going to be able to come in on the studios from time to time. We'll go ahead and get him in. Hanover Fist, like the new name even better, Joe. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you liked the name. I was afraid that the name wasn't going to go over well. So hearing you guys, say so many good things about it's given me a lot more confidence, and this is the right direction. Jeff Garcia, no to what, Jeff? What are you referring to? No to what? You getting us a suite, or are you going to a UTSA tailgate? The Drew Show says, Chris Gonzalez, can you rent it? But it comes with the limit. Usually, when you get more than 10 guests, they start charging money in the movie theaters. I think some of these theaters, they have like a flat rate now. So they say if you're going to go ahead and rent the theater, it's going to be an X amount of money. And at that point, then you can go ahead and decide, hey, I spent like $200, $300 in renting the whole theater. Do I want to charge people to come in and watch the games with us? Maybe charging people $5-6 to watch a game. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to figure it all out, the logistics side of it. I love Spurs React. I did too. It was fun having let's say Spurs React right after the games and getting that reaction from the fan, and then being there with Chris Duell and Carolina Teague was in studio. You also had Gylan Jackson that was in studio. Michael Bartlett was always doing the producing, and it was funny with Bartlett because sometimes when the Spurs would lose, he wasn't having it, man. And you could tell when he wasn't having it. He just was not having it. He didn't want to talk. Watch party at my house. Hey, JC, if you have a watch party at your house, invite. I'll bring the beer, brother. Man, now you're making me sad, Mark Cavazos. Can we meet up at Fatso's? You want to talk about a San Antonio treasure that was gone way too soon. Fatso's, man. That was a place to watch games. That place would get lit back in the day, especially when the Spurs were going off on their championship runs or making deep playoff runs. Fatso's was the place to be. That place got so packed, so many good memories. It was full of Spurs fans. That's what I'm looking forward to once again. Now that the Spurs got Wembanyama, hopefully the Spurs will be good again, be in that conversation, go into deep playoff runs. That's what I'm looking forward to. Christopher Lee, how much beer can we take in, though? Hey, man, if you're renting a theater, I ain't taking in beer. Bring a flask. You get you a soda, unlimited refills. Think about it. Think about that. $12.50 price for Spirit. Okay, there you go. That's $12.50 per beer at the Spurs games. Okay, I thought it was a little bit more though. Somebody stream it and we can throw it on a flat screen. Hey, I got a projector, brother, so we're gonna be better than just a little flat screen. If you host a watch party at your home and you invite, I'll bring my projector. Got a big Bluetooth speaker. I'm not talking a little one. I'm talking a big old monster Bluetooth speaker. And I do that here in my backyard where I go ahead and set up the projector and whatnot. And we can just go ahead and throw something against the, fence or whatnot and just put it up real quick just to get the job done and have a projector. I got the projector, I got the streaming device, all that stuff. So if you want to do something like that, JC, hit me up, brother. That sounds like fun, man. Why not? You know? Tim Gonzalez, I'd rather spend my money buying food and drinks rather than paying 130 for a ticket all the way. He says it, yeah, the ticket prices are a lot, man. I get that. For being up there in the nosebleeds, showing a game at a theater is a great idea. Someone is going to sneak in big barbecue tacos. Somebody's going to bring in a full plate from a freaking taco truck, dude. I already know it. Like a full 10-course, 3-course meal, dude. Andrew Show, Mario Cavazos, any more hoochie waitresses bars in SA? You know, they wear next to nothing and water down the drinks. Think Twin Peaks with the real homegirls. They still do that, man. Twin Peaks is probably the place you want to go for happy hour because of the drink specials that they have there. But after that, you might want to go somewhere else or wait for the reverse happy hour that happens, I believe, like at 11 o'clock from 11 to 12. Then they have the reverse happy hour again where they have the happy hour prices for a beer. My favorite beer over at Twin Peaks, man, is a Naughty Brunette. I always like that beer. It's always been my go-to. The blonde is good too, but I still prefer the Naughty Brunette, man. That's my beer. Mr. Gaddy's gang in the house. What's up? Oh man. Star Wars Stuff Podcast. He says, I went to a Dallas away game for the Spurs, and the fans were about 70-30 Spurs fans. It was rad. Hey, we need to get you in here too, man. I'm going to reach out to you guys so you can go ahead and come on and we can talk sports. Alamo City Sportscast, the name it should have been. MJ Acquired Taste was not SEO friendly. Thank you, Drew. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. That's what I've been saying. I remember going to Fatso's during the playoffs, man. Hey, Fatso's during the playoffs was where you wanted to be at. It was probably better than just going to, like, you know, getting the nosebleed seats over in the AT&T Center back in the day. Fatso's is where all the raza hung out. That's where the people were at. Oh, hell, the beer tower. Man, they have the beer tower. This is Mike Baez from Bear County Social Apparel. I'm going to be wearing the Low Spurs shirt that you made, the money bags shirt when Jeff is on the show this week. So it's going to be fun. And then on the weekend, on Sunday, I'm going to have Big Papi Brandon Medina wear the shirts over on his show. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a fun week. Joe, you need to try react with the next Cowboys game. Oh God, man. I know it's gonna suck to do it on a Sunday and cut into grilling time and chilling time. Oh God, man. I can only imagine. Can you imagine how many heartbreaking games we're gonna have to talk about if we do something like that? That's gonna be horrible. And I'm probably gonna be drunk as well. So I'm just gonna probably go off on a tangent. Won't even remember what the hell I'm saying. Just for Leha says, you smart, Joe. I'll take the good shit. No cheap drink. Anyone shows up with the liquor from a plastic bottle, bro, they get kicked out of the damn theater. Who brings a freaking bottle of liquor in a plastic bottle? Put it in a flask, man. Come on now. You got to buy the good stuff. Doesn't come in a plastic bottle. Comes in a glass bottle. Even if you can't afford the 750 milliliter bottle, go and buy you the little bottle, man. They got it over there behind the counter. You can see it on the wall. That's not going to be as much. Bring that, man. It's all good. The Drew Show. I had a good amount of those dirty blondes at Twin Peaks and a side of ass. You're probably talking about Friday night, bourbon and brews, man. This is old crap. Now we got it going. I'll DM. We are the boy. We are on it. All right. We'll go ahead and do that. I'll sneak in a keg. Somebody will probably, man. As a JC Frank, party at my place. You bring the meat tacos. Oh man, here we go now. We're gonna have an asada. We're gonna have some meat and everything on the pit. Mario Leha. Mario, you are a saint. The real Fetzel's location on Bandera, not that fake one. That's what I'm talking about, bro. The real one that was off of Bandera. That place was lit. That's what I was referring to, man. Back in the day. That's where the Spurs fans, the real diehard Spurs fans, used to go to Fatso's. I hope we can get that going again, you know, like getting meet and greets, little get-togethers, little watch parties throughout the season, especially for away games. I know it's kind of a hard sell. Like sometimes you'll have nights where Saturday, it's kind of a hard sell because you have UFC and you have boxing going on at the same time. But if there's a late game starting like maybe 9:30ish, somewhere around there, and it's on a Friday, bro, I can probably make that, man. I'll be out there and looking to go and have a good time. Yeah, there you go, man. So we're definitely going to have to talk about planning and strategizing with you guys, with the fellas here, on what we're going to do for the upcoming Spurs season, man. That's going to be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and get into the real talk here, real quick. I don't know if you all had the opportunity to watch UFC 292 over the weekend, man. But Aljamain Sterling and Sugar Sean O'Malley, that was the headliner, and that was a great fight. I thought it was going to go the distance. Ultimately, it did not. Sterling got KO'd, man, in the second round. I believe at the 4:09 mark of the second round by a counterpunch by Sugar Sean O'Malley, man. It was a beautiful counterpunch, and Sterling saw it coming, man. But I didn't think the fight was going to end like this. After all that shit talking Sterling did, the boy went out like a sucker, man. Come on. Damn. That was a nasty punch, man. I know I was watching it here with my boys and we erupted, dude, in the studio. We were just going off. We're going crazy. And we're a little drunk too. So that, we had a good time. Yeah, man, for real, bro. Welcome to the Sugar Show. He is now the bantamweight champ, dude. So, they wanted to go ahead and they were saying that he wasn't superstar potential, like he wasn't going to be able to beat Aljamain Sterling. But now that he's officially a UFC star. So he's going to have to go ahead and defend that belt. He's going to have to defend his title. We'll probably see who he's going to go ahead and go up against. I believe they defend their titles once every 6 months. So in a couple of months from now, he's going to have to go ahead and defend that title. And let's see if he can retain it, or is he going to go ahead and get beat handedly and show that he had no business there and that this was a fluke. That's what people are going to be talking about until he can go ahead and beat somebody else and retain that title. So that's going to be interesting, though, man. I like Sugar Sean. I know my boy Jonas Clark. He's always saying, the kid's kind of a punk and whatnot. But hey, now you got to go ahead and beat him, because he just went ahead and won the chip. So it's going to be fun to watch that. Ilo let me down. Yeah, bro. Hey, man, some of the undercards, though, they had some really good fights in the UFC, the early prelims. You got to go ahead and check that out as well. Always watch the prelims, man. Sometimes the fights there are actually really good. Yeah, Christopher, like, damn, Sterling got work. Yeah, he did. And this goes to show that the can fight, not just babied by UFC, but he should fight Peter Yan again. Well, that'd be something Dana White will go ahead and maybe put together. But the numbers and would have to make sense for both parties. The beating the champ is one thing. Remaining the champ is the real. That's what I'm talking about right there, man. And Bear County Social Apparel. Mario, appreciate you, fam. There you go. Won't be surprised if they throw Chito Vera next. Hey, man, Chito, he's still doing his thing, man. He was fighting. He looked good still, dude. So that would be a good fight, actually. I would want to see that one. But you also got more fights coming up here in September with UFC. They got another pay-per-view. I believe Israel Adesanya is going to be headlining that one. So I'm always looking forward to seeing Izzy fight. That last fight that he had against Biraja, that was a good fight. But, man, I want to see Izzy in his next fight coming up in September. All right, guys. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's inaugural brand new episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. And you're looking at the new rebrand for the network, the umbrella, which is now called the Alamo City Podcast Network. But remember, everything is still going to pretty much stay the same. We're just going to have a healthy plethora of shows coming on here for you guys. And we're going to still have the same guests. We're still going to have Jeff come on. Caroline is going to be here. We're going to have Katie Goodman still coming in. And we're going to go ahead and have other guests from time to time coming in. Rudy Campos Jr. We'll probably have some of you guys coming in the studio and talking sports as well. We'll probably have Chris Leja next come up here and take the stage, and see what he's got. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, we'll probably have a drink or two. Mike Bias says, I love you all. Have a blessed day. You all have a blessed day too, Mike. Nothing but love for you, brother. So with that note, we're out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good one. Peace.